Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So, last season I got to 6,999 trophies. And wait a second, let me just put this in English. Alright, so as you can see, my highest number of trophies is exactly 6,999 trophies. And you can go check it out my other videos, and you can see that my highest number of trophies wasn't this number, and I got 2 times close to 700 to 7,000. I got once I was like in 6,918 something, and the other one I was in 6,999 trophies. And before I show you the deck that I used, because you can maybe not know what deck I use, I just have to say that it's utterly ridiculous, and it just happens to kinda work in my hands, However, I have to say that many people kinda don't like this deck, and you're gonna think that I'm a ridiculous person trying to play with it, but hey, what it works, So I'm going to show you. It's this deck. Yeah. It's a very expensive deck that, just kinda works in my hands. I've had a lot of practice. I've tried to change a lot of cards in this deck, and this is literally my final answer. As you can see, I'm not really a person to win that many matches in a row. Like, if not, I would have a classic challenge, at least one classic challenge one. I need to try to win a couple more times. But yeah, just recently I've hit 6,300 trophies. And as you can see, I have like a couple of tough defeats along the way. And it's normal, right? Plus, this meta is not that good for this deck. I mean, he has like, nowadays, Poison got a boost, which is a direct counter to the graveyard, and you still have the Mother Witch, which nowadays is being really played, especially because the Hawks got a little boost. So you can see sometimes people playing with the Mother Witch and the pigs, I kinda had to wait a little bit in this season because today is like day 11. I had to wait a little bit to get to 6,300 trophies because people are just testing out the new poisons. People are just testing out a lot of things and just really not doing me any favors. So we're going to react to a couple of them, and I'm just going to tell you a little quick story. So let's see. Yes, I can first react to this match. This deck was incredible. I'm like, what? I was like, Becca and freaking Royal Giant, Jesus Christ. So I'm going to tell you the story of how I basically started to play with this deck. Look, back in the time, there was a version of the Pigs deck with the recruits and the Barbarian hats, and I kind of like to play with expensive kind of stuff, so I tried to make it even more ridiculous, and I thought myself, what are the cards, the expensive cards that maybe are not played as much, that I don't really use to play with them, and that I can try to add it in them, And I just trying different things back in the time. Hold on. And so I thought to myself, I have the freeze, which is very OP when played, for example, with the graveyards, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. And I also have maybe the free muskies, and so I tried to move it around with that. I had like instead of the what is it called? So instead of the skeleton dragons, I had the zappies, but then because I also wanted to make it a dual line deck, because the free muskies was more to bait a lot of my opponent has, like rockets, poison. If you play with graveyards, you kind of want to bait what the other guy has, whether he's a fireball, whether he's lightning, a poison, mainly a poison or an earthquake, because those two cards are kind of counterish to my deck, and back in the time there was no Mother Witch, so those two were the main counter to my deck, or at least to the graveyard. Obviously, because you still have like Mega Knight and all of that stuff. And so, using the free muskies in the back, as you can see, I've seen in multiple videos, I tried to use the two muskies on the tower that has the most life, so that I can bait some of his response to that side, and that makes it kind of free for me to attack his right side tower. Just a quick example. And so I just kept on using and keep on practicing it, and because you have like 5 grounded cards, like 5 troops that are like guards, it kind of makes it a little bit more easy to figure out what is like the best response, or what is like the best cards and the best solutions for me to play in each set of 4 cards, because when you start, you can play with 4 cards, and sometimes it gets a little bit harsh, and I took a little bit of time just to figure out what can I play, what was the best. There were times where I was starting with graveyard, but nowadays I can't really go out with that, and sometimes I have to start with free muskies, and it's not really something that you should play, because it can get you on a massive disadvantage, you know what I mean? So I reacted to a couple of matches. Here, this was a tough one. Yeah, the lightning was always forcing me to play things on defensive parts. Like here, when I play the free muskets, it can get a little bit tough. Because you can attack, like you can have mega, you can attack on one side, and you can make things rough, So play look, in these types of decks, even though he has uh, lightning and doesn't have poison, he could have had the Mother Witch still. But at this point, you just have to really go for it, isn't it? However, in this situation, he has plenty of counter. Like he had the what's it called? It's the Goblin Hat. He had the Furnace, so it's pretty damn rough for me to play the Graveyard because even though it doesn't have poisons or Mother Witch, the Graveyard didn't make that much damage on it, So really, I'm just really trying to figure out this chance, a good chance for me to play it, And like I was saying, just trying to motivate the guy to play Mega and to play Lightning on my left tower because it was the tower where I have the most health, because we are in a situation where if one tower drops, it's game over. So I kinda am trying to bait his intention towards the tower that has the most health. You know what I mean? And here I just play Graveyard because you just have to go for it. I was letting do a little bit of damage on my left side tower because I was just simply trying to make something on the attack, So you keep on moving. Then at this point I just really have to go. Now here I kinda put myself on a good spot because he was making some pressure on my right side tower, Furnace and the Goblin Hat. So if I can make him play the Mega Knight on my right side of the tower, I can basically have the left side of the tower all for me to just attack and play again the Graveyard, and he won't have that much response, He'll have the Dark Prince, but he plays the Dark Prince in the bad spot. He should have first maybe take out the Muskie. And look, see, he played that so bad that they still had 3 recruits. He played the Furnace, that's really no point in doing that. I still managed to win the match. So I've shown in other videos, I've shown this deck. So I'm going to finally just show you my last win that got me 6,300 trophies because it was kinda counter. Like, if you play something fast, like Hog with Earthquake, or this deck with the Goblin Barrow, and like the rockets and the log and whatever, it's kind of rough. And as you can see, I lost a match to it not that much time ago, so pretty harsh, as you can see. But it's basically just like in this hand, you kind of want to play the things that are heavy, so that you can have things that are light for the rest of like the next 30-40 seconds in case he has a quick deck, If I play the recruits in the back, I will have the Freeze, I'll have the Skeleton Dragons and the Tornado, which are both not that expensive cards, are both 3 or 4 elixir cards, That's basically what I did. And here's the advantage of me having the... And then, like I said, I can play this with a dual line game in mind, because Skeleton Dragons I can play like in the middle, I can maybe play it in the back and force a fireball or a rocket, and if he does that, it will give me a chance, an opportunity to play the muskies in the back. And sometimes that's something that you have to risk, because he has played their spells, so you can kind of get some advantage, or maybe not. But because this is quite a heavy deck, sometimes you have to go for those kinds of things. I was trying to make something happen on that left side tower. But maybe I should have played the Skeleton Dragons in middle. Well, whatever. He's going to play the barrel, and even if you lose a bit of damage, it's fine. I was trying to make the executioner on a position where my tower would be able to catch the Goblin Dart without receiving damage, and plus the executioner was on a position where it would focus on the Goblin Barrel, So it was really beneficial for me, that executioner. I played a lot. That's fine. I played that variant more on the right side, so that it can has to focus more on bit on my right side of the tower. Plus, it's where I dealt a bit of damage, so it wasn't going to hit that 200 and something damage on that right side tower. So we keep moving. I play the 3 muskies in the back so that I can maybe force a rocket. Plus, if he doesn't play rocket, my 2 muskies on the right side will still defend a bit that prince, and it will make me gather a little bit more elixir, and maybe I'll be able to play the rock recruits on top of that, you know what I mean? And yeah, no, I decided to play, okay, that's totally fine. Decided to play a graveyard. Still, I lost the damage, a bit of damage, but it's kind of a trade tower situation. Like, here, I could have played here, exactly this point, I could have played maybe the Royal Recruits here, and maybe it would have defended the Rascals, and it would set me on a bit of an attack on my right side tower, but maybe that wouldn't work as much on the attack, because he had the rocket, so with the rocket he could have easily killed the muskies and Royal Recruits, but either way I had that Rascals a bit defended with Royal Recruits, so I don't know. Either way, we move on. Playing the Graveyard and Freeze was kind of a trade tower situation. Skeleton Dragons to defend. Here I was playing, the rockets, so I'm not going to play the 3 muskies in the back, so I played the Royal Recruits in the back first, because that's something that I can't play, it doesn't have arrows, it just has a log, and it doesn't really crush my Royal Recruits instantly, so. And here I was trying to make something happen, here I can play maybe the 3 muskies high up, and there you go, because you not get advantage of dealing damage on my tower, so it just to something that I can play, it is something that I can play. And now if a graveyard can maybe lay out a freeze, and I deal a bunch of damage in his main tower, because his main focus was his left sided tower, Plus, he didn't play a rocket because, like I said, it was not something that beneficial for him. He won't deal damage on my tower, so maybe he didn't really play the rockets. So now this final part, I kept playing the graveyard with Executioner, so that Executioner served more to just distract kind of that king side tower, So little freeze, and that rascals I shouldn't have played that tornado. I had the game done. Like the Executioner, if that rascals was hitting the tower, and that like that it was a mistake on his part, but that tornado was just terrible. Absolutely trash. But either way, just keep on defending a bit. It wasn't that wasn't that good. I could have, instead of that, I could have played the Royal Recruits, and it would have done a much better job. That the Reinhardt was not ideal, and it almost made me lose the match. You had to play a rocket to win, so I tried to use this moment because he didn't have any units on his defensive part of the match, so I had to use this match just like, let me just go to that moment again. As you can see right here, he didn't have anything on his side, and it was no one's kind of fortune in that sense, because it made me win the match, because that was something that he maybe wasn't expecting. I was just really just waiting for that to get the elixir back, and for that Goblin Dart to just get crushed, and just and just use, like, if you play the Free Muskies now, they will focus on the Goblin Dart, so I was just really waiting for him to just go a bit forth, and bam, there you go. Look, I'm not very good at English. I still struggle a bit to talk with while I'm trying to improvise, so these videos are more for that reasoning. I get to practice a bit of my English. I get to share a couple of things that I'm doing at the moment, and plus it's fun just record a bunch of things and show it to YouTube. Like, why not? You know what I mean? So yeah, plus I get to keep practicing some English, because like, as a person which English is not their native language, in many cases they don't get that many chances to just talk some English without having like a script, They don't get that many chances to talk in English while improvising it, so these videos are a very good chance for me to just practice my English, and yeah. If you like this video, can leave a thumbs up and a comment. If you want, you can also subscribe my channel and turn on post notifications to not miss a video that I not post. And yeah, I'm gonna try to post every Thursdays at 8 p.m. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.